Hi there. So, this is a very difficult topic for me, and one that I was unsure if I'd be able to make a video about, but I decided that I wanted to go ahead and put my story out there because I learned early on after my baby died that connecting with other people and hearing other people's stories really helped me get through it and know that I wasn't alone and know that it was possible to survive when you lose a child. And so I'll real quickly tell my story, and I'm not going to go into a lot of details, but if anyone's interested, please contact me. I'm really an open book when it comes to wanting to share my story and wanting to put it out there and help anybody else get through this that I can. And I had my baby 3 months ago in May of this year, so May of 2014. And he was born by C-section when he was 37 weeks, and that was because I wasn't feeling well, and I was preeclamptic, and my membranes had ruptured early. So we went ahead and went through with the induction and everything, and the preeclampsia and everything had happened just that last week. So basically about 3 days before I was induced is when I started feeling really bad. Up until then, I had had a very uneventful, perfect pregnancy, and I loved just about every minute of it. So I had a really easy pregnancy, just normal aches and pains, Anyway, Micah Alexander was my baby's name, and he was born on May 3rd and weighed 6 pounds and was 18 inches long. He did have some trouble when he was first born regulating his sugars and his temperature, so they kind of helped us with that, and we had to supplement with formula a little bit, and he was given the green light to go home after about 5 days. And they said he was healthy and he was perfect. So on the morning of May 12th, we actually had a doctor's appointment scheduled for 8:30 that morning. But around 5 to 5:30 or so in the morning, we noticed that he was really cold. And that was very alarming for us. And he also seemed to look a little bit pale. And as my husband was down getting his car seat ready, we were just going to go ahead and take him to the hospital, and just to ease our minds. But he started to throw up and had stuff coming out of his nose, and eventually he stopped breathing. And so we called 911 and did CPR, and the ambulance came and rushed him to the hospital. And once we got to the hospital and we were in a consultation room with the chaplain, they told us that they had done everything that they could, and it had been about 20 minutes, and they weren't going to be able to get his heart started again. And even if they could, he would probably, he wouldn't have anything to come back from. So, they stopped trying to revive him around 7:15 that morning, and he was pronounced dead. And I was completely in shock, and to say it was the worst day of my life is an understatement. It was so sudden. I mean, we didn't even know he was sick, and so it took a while, and they did an autopsy, and they found out, we found out about 2 months later, so about a month ago, that it was a virus that I had. I should mention that I also went back to the hospital myself right after he died, and it turned out I also had the same virus, and I had passed that virus on to him, and we didn't know. But it was called CMV. It's cytomegalovirus or something like that, and it can be passed from mother to baby, and it's not something that is regularly tested for, and it's not something that I knew anything about. It's a viral infection that apparently is pretty common, and most people actually have been exposed to it, but if you are exposed to it when your immune system is compromised, such as in pregnancy, then you can have like an active outbreak basically of it, and that is what happened. And we didn't know, the hospital didn't know, and by the time we knew, it was too late. And so that's what happened. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about, how I survived and how I'm coping. And, for anybody who's going through this, just please know that it's a journey. It's not something that you're just going to get over. And it's not something that will just go away. I will always miss my baby. And even 3 months later, I'll see something and I'll just start crying, and I don't cry every day anymore, and I don't know when I'm gonna cry. I don't know what's gonna hit me, and I expect it to be that way. And I noticed what has really helped me is when I cry. And I know that sounds like you're kind of going back, and it sounds like, oh, you're not really working through it, and it's not, but I've noticed when I allow myself to cry, just break down, even if it's for an hour, it really, really helps me, because it's like I need to get it out, because the more I try to hold it in and hold back the tears, the more they try to come. So, I just have to accept that it's part of my journey. And another thing that really helped me was writing. And I wouldn't even say that it was journaling, but I guess it was one of those where you just free flow and you just write everything. And I have sat and just wrote page after page of just thoughts that were going on in my head, and really that helps a lot. And I think knowing that you aren't going to be the same person as you were before the loss is a good expectation to have, because if you expect that life's just going to go back to normal, then I just feel like you're fooling yourself, and you're going to end up not meeting those expectations. So I fully accept and understand that I'm a different person, and a loss like this will change someone. And it's just an act of finding, a lot of the people in the baby loss community that have become part of, they call it finding your new normal. And that pretty much just to me means you find out who you are now, and you accept the changes, and you try to find the positives in it. And I have regrets from the 9 days that my son was alive. I wish that I would have done a lot of things. I didn't even rock him in the rocking chair that we bought him. And, a lot of it was because I was still sick and I was recovering from a C-section, and I thought that I would have more time, and I didn't. And I just cherished the few things that I did get to do with him. And I thought I could get through this part a little bit better. But, accepting those regrets. And I think a big thing that's helped me is not being angry and not being bitter, and accepting that it's a tragedy that happened, and I don't blame anyone. I don't blame myself. I don't blame the hospital. I don't blame my husband. It's one of those unfortunate circumstances that we won't understand ever. And I'm not even trying to understand it. It is what it is. And, my baby died. And that's what happened. And it was because of a virus. And I don't know where I got the virus. And, but anyways, I think trying to get back on topic here, and just talking about how to cope with grief, connect with people, and accept that it's going to be a journey. It's a process, and just accept that things happen in life, and you won't understand it, and it won't make sense. And it's perfectly normal to be jealous of people that have babies and that have pregnancies that were healthy, but I don't blame anyone, like I said, and I'm happy for people. I've had a lot of people since this happened avoid me or not want to talk to me about being pregnant, or thinking that it's not okay to post pictures of their babies on Facebook. And I guess I'm okay with babies, and I'm okay with pregnancy, and it's hard sometimes. And I think about what Micah would have looked like, and how old he would be now. And actually tomorrow he would have been 3 months old. And of course I think about that stuff, but we work through it the best that we can. And I know there's a quote that I really like, and it's just, you never know how strong you are until you have to be. And that's true. And I think it's, if you're not going to be given anything that you can't handle. So know that, and know that it gets easier. It doesn't ever get easy, and you won't ever miss your baby, but it does get easier. And you will get to a point where you can go a day without crying, or I can go in the nursery that we had set up and go through Micah's things and look at his birth certificate now, and I can get through it. And it's just expecting that you're going to have days that are bad, and you're going to have moments where you just break down for no reason, and know that it's going to hurt, and know that you're not going to be the same person. Allow yourself to cry, allow yourself to write it down, and allow yourself to talk about him or her. I talk about Micah a lot, not all the time, but I do bring him up from time to time, and I want people to remember him. And I want people to know how perfect he was. And as far as I'm concerned, he was completely gorgeous and had nothing wrong with him. And I'm proud to be his mom. And one thing that I have struggled with, and I didn't really want this video to be this long, but he was my only child, first and my only. And I often wonder, am I even a mom? Because I don't have a child. And I am a mom in a different sense of the word. I don't have a baby to take care of right now, but I was pregnant, and I did give birth, and he was perfect. And I got to breastfeed, and I got to hold him and sing to him, and so I guess that's I don't want this video to keep going. I could mumble and rant for a long time if I needed to, but if you have any questions or you want to share your story, please feel free. And I'm sorry this video is just rambling, but I just wanted to put it out there.